It's March 20th, 2012, and here's the latest story reports. TheDavidCater is expected to be the biggest flop of all time. Wait, what?!
Hello decoders, decode this!
So yes, TheDavidCater is expected to be the biggest movie flop of all time. Wait, something doesn't sound right about that. Let's check the info. Oh, John Carter. Carry on. That's not a big problem then. See, I would have taken a major offense if it was TheDavidCater taking a big flop, but, you know, just the thing. Underrating the Caters. Shouldn't be using Carter so often, that is why it's becoming a big flop. But with the John Carter situation, it does make you think about the biggest movie flops, and I was doing a bit of research, and apparently most of the biggest movie flops of all time, aside from Jennifer Lopez films, tend to involve Mars. I don't know if they're related in some way, but then, you know, J-Lo's ass does seem to come from some places unknown. Does this mean one thing in particular, aside from the fact that Disney seems to have a consistency with these sorts of films, but when it comes to Mars, what is it about these sorts of films that we don't like? Do we not like the outer world experience? But then, that contradicts everything, because we love Star Wars and Star Trek and Mars Attacks. Is it more the fact that we just don't like films that bring it closer to the idea that Mars basically has a lot of fun? I mean, heck, why are all the astronauts trying to get there? You know, it must be something big going on if they're trying to get out there. Heck, even I'm on my way there. I paid tickets for Mars-Ami. Oh wait, that's Miami. What is it about Mars that sort of, you know, takes all the excitement? I mean, it's just like, it's red, but I mean, red isn't necessarily the colour of best things. I mean, well, some exceptions like Arsenal or Liverpool, but also as well, it's just like, everyone wants to go to Mars, but yet the films are just like, nope, don't want to think about it. Is it because we're worried about pending apocalypse? And I don't mean the 2012 stuff, I mean it's just like, you know, everyone wants to move to Mars, they just don't want to be accepting that fact. Remember, cinema is an escape from reality. Maybe that's what we don't like about it, is that we're too occupied with our thoughts about occupying Mars that we just don't want to see films about it because it just reminds us of that reality. It's like seeing all the stuff that's going on with American politics. We kind of don't want to see that in films. Yeah, messy. Not gonna go there. But to clarify things, all the stuff that's been going on in America to do with the politics that's basically pissing everyone else off. But if I would say one thing, read The Handmaid's Tale, because every time I see news about that sort of thing, it reminds me of that book in particular, and I did it for GCSEs. It's a very good book, and I definitely think it's worth reading, because that's what potentially things could go down if these sorts of things continue to be pushed forward. America, I love you, but all the stuff that's going on and everything needs to get seriously sorted, because in the end, this is not healthy for someone who may even want to consider living in your country. On to more positive things. Mars. What is it about Mars then? Do you think maybe that the films are going to start be basing more about other planets? Like, you know, maybe sort of a bit like Venus action or Neptune. Neptune's got a bit of thing, but you know, check out Saturn and her rings. I think the biggest tragedy about this is that how John Carter effectively laid the foundations for all the sci-fi that takes place in this day and age. Star Wars, Star Trek, everything like that wouldn't exist without it. But if I wasn't informed about John Carter like some people may have been, I would have thought it was just a complete rip-off of certain things. It certainly looks like that basically they just asked George Lucas to make things. Who knows, maybe that's what's happened. He certainly knows how to bleed money out of you. But what do you think, decoders? What is it about Mars and John Carter that basically made you lack interest in going to see it? Or in fact, has any of you actually seen John Carter? And if so, what have you thought of it? I read on Rotten Tomatoes about 50-50 split, so it's kind of neither good nor bad, just average, but post away. But also, when it comes to films, would you start worrying when real life matters started appearing more in cinemas as actual plots? Would that suspension of disbelief end every experience about the cinema? Post away. Also, what big film flops have you seen that you actually think were good and can't understand why? So yeah, John Carter's a flop. Mars just seems to be the unfilmable place and everyone wants to go there. America, you basically have two options. Vote Obama or vote Chewbacca. There's now been winners of the Great Decoder Challenge Thing quiz, And basically the winners are Memphis Vinny, Bailey 2902, and Genevieve Thurs. I mean, there was meant to be one winner from it, but they were the only three that managed to get to the end, so teach that all round. In case you haven't been watching my second channel or my Twitter, I had just recently announced that the series is taking a temporal hiatus for this point. Whilst I have been thoroughly enjoying it, I feel it's just time to take a bit of a break from it, get some refreshing, and also feel it's time to get back, you know, interacting decoders. I miss this, you know. I've really missed you so much. Come on, let's have a hug. Hug. I'm gonna try and get a couple videos out this week and everything, because very soon I'll be flying off to Miami, and yeah, good times coming ahead, and good luck to all those that play this live, if I don't see you before. I looked into his treacherous eyes, but then the only thing I saw was the red.
Tigers, penguins, oh my god, otters!
I mean, seriously, decoders,